This will be a practical no BS guide on how to go from skinny to aesthetic. Now, I started my lifting journey at 155 pounds. That was 2 years ago. I was underweight and I didn't really like my body. So I did something about it. I wanted to look sexier, I wanted to look bigger. So I started my lifting journey. Now, 2 years later, I am weighing in at 205 pounds. So 50 pounds heavier. And bro, that fitness journey, and it worked. Now I'm getting compliments from girls. I mean, from your friends, you're called Mr. Muscle. People actually call me Mr. Muscle at school, so and just an amazing journey. And in this video, I added all my knowledge on how to go from skinny to aesthetic, and I just combined this in one video. Now, the first part of this video is going to be how to actually work out to be aesthetic. The second part is going to be how to eat. And the last part is going to be how to stay consistent. So let's get into the first part. How to work out. Now, if you want an aesthetic body, there are a few muscle groups that you need to focus on. And if you don't, you're going to end up looking blocky and you're not going to get that V-taper type of look. So bear with me, I'm going to share with you the 5 groups of muscle you need to focus on, starting with the most important one, your shoulders. Now, you need to focus on your shoulders because they are the kind of the pillars to that V-taper. They're what actually makes you look wider. So you need to get some broad shoulders. Now, not only do you need to do your side delts, which basically make you look more broad from the front, you also need to do your rear delts and your front delts. Now, for the front delts, you can do exercise like shoulder presses or like front raises. You can also do for your side delts lateral raises. Everyone knows that, but for your rear delts, now there are many different types of movement and exercise you can do. I personally really enjoy just doing some face pulls laying on a bench. But you could also do some like rear lateral raises, which also work. Now, for the second muscle groups you should focus on, it's the neck and the traps. Now, the neck is what's going to make you look dominant. Even when you got a shirt on, everyone can see your neck. And if you have a skinny neck, you're going to look much, much more weak. Now, I actually don't have the widest neck yet, but I'm working on it. And to work on my neck, what I like doing is some neck curls with some weight and some neck extension with some weight. You basically lay on the bench and you do it. You can also do some neck bridges if you're good at it. I'm not so good at it, so I'm not doing it yet. But what I really like doing, which like it requires no effort, I basically just take a band, a resistance band, I like strap it on somewhere on the squat rack, and I just put it in front of my face and I walk forward until it like create some resistance, right? So you can do that, very simple, and your neck is just gonna start growing. You can train it like maybe once a week. I don't think you need more than that, but like if you want a big neck quickly, you can train neck every single days of the week if you want. So that's it for next. Now for the traps, easiest muscle to work out. You just want to do some shrugs. Any type of shrugs, can be dumbbell shrugs or barbell shrugs. Just any type of shrugs, and it does not matter. The third muscle groups you want to focus on is your chest and your back. Now, your chest is actually what's going to make you like look like Superman in a way. From the front, you're just going to look much bigger, and from the side, it's actually going to give you this aesthetic look, creating some volume from the front, right? So your chest, if you want to focus on it, it's actually pretty simple. You either do some bench or some dumbbell presses, or even some push-ups. And your back is actually what's gonna make you like create this V-taper. It's your lats that hold the V-taper. So to target your back, honestly, just 2 different types of exercise you need to be doing. Anything that's kind of like pull-ups, so lat pull down would also work, and anything that's just like rows. So any type of rows work. You can play with it, see which exercise gives you the biggest pump, and just do that exercise, right? So that's it for the chest and back. The 4th muscle groups you need to focus on is your arms. Now, honestly, I would put arms above chest and back for me because I have like very well developed chest and back, but my arms, since I'm tall and lengthy, they look smaller. So if you're tall and lengthy or you have like very long arms, I would focus on arms before chest and back. But in this video, let's say you're just average built, arms come later. So for your arms, it's basically your bicep and your tricep. Now your arms actually show more than your chest and back, because that's I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. You don't see my chest, you kind of see my chest, but you don't see my chest and my back, just how you see my bicep. Now my arms are actually not quite big because I'm 6'4" and I've got lengthy arms. But honestly, I wish I started focusing on arms just that much more when I started lifting. So focus on your arms. You can add in a arm day if you wish, or what you can also do is, let's say you have a split that's like chest and tricep. Well, start with your tricep. Start with your tricep, and you're gonna get a more activation in the tricep when you do your triceps and when you do your chest. So your tricep is gonna grow more. Same thing for, let's say you're doing back and bicep day. So that's how you can actually focus more on your arms. That's how I would go about it. But yeah, do anything like for bicep, you do any types of curls, and for tricep, any type of like tricep push down, tricep extension, anything like that will work. Skull crushers I like adding now for my triceps. So yeah, I wish I started focusing on my arms more at the beginning. I thought I didn't need to really even do arms because when I did like push-ups, it would do my tricep. But bro, you need to focus on your arms. The last muscle group you need to focus on is your legs. So it's kind of a list of priority. At first, we got shoulders, which is the most important. Then we got neck and traps. Then we got chest and back. Then we got arms. And finally, we got legs. Now, honestly, you could kind of skip your legs because if you wear like baggy clothes, baggy pants, and cargo pants, we don't see your legs. But I would recommend not skipping your legs. At least do them once a week. Because your legs, when you're going to be wearing shorts, when you're going to be in boxer, and even in certain types of pants, they make you look so much better. And honestly, this is going to sound weird, but don't skip glutes. Your glutes is what makes your leg look good. When you walk around anywhere, your glutes is what makes you more aesthetic from the below, right? So you need to focus on your glutes more than anything else. Now, you don't want overdeveloped glutes, which I don't ever saw someone with those, but you also want to do quads and hamstrings, and you need to do as much quad focus exercise as you do hamstring focus exercise, because some people think your legs is all about your quads, but it's not. You've got a lot of hamstring too. So if you want your legs to look bigger, you don't want to skip hamstring. And for your glutes, and you could do hip thrust, but honestly, like when you do squats, like it grows your glutes. When you do like some RDLs, it grows your glutes. So yeah, you do need to focus on your glutes, but you don't need to spam hip thrust. But just know that having bigger glutes as a guy is just like having bigger glutes as a woman. And you just look better. And women like big glutes too, guys. So focus on your glutes too. So that's it for the muscle groups that you need to focus on. Let's get on to how much time should you actually train per week. Now, honestly, it doesn't really matter how much time you train per week, as long as you train a minimum of 3 times per week. But what I really like doing is training 4 times a week, and sometimes even 5 times a week, adding 1 more arm day, because I know I need to focus on my arm day. And the last rest day, the 2 or 3 last rest days, you just kind of put them where you want in your week. So it kind of just does a perfect week where I know I'm going to be working out 4 times, sometimes 5 times. Very simple, but honestly, you can change that up all you want. You can only have 1 rest day or even 0 rest days, but you need to make sure you're not overtraining, or else you're just going to start losing gain. For how long your workouts should actually be, it also doesn't really matter, but there's this sweet number that I really like aiming for. It's basically 1 hour. So anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half is where I like making my workout last. And I basically, in like 45 minutes, I have the time to do like an entire shoulders and trap day easily. And in 1 hour, I have the time to do a chest and tricep day. Make your workouts last about an hour. Going over 1 hour and 30 minutes is a waste of time, and you might actually it might actually lead you to overtraining, which would reduce your gains. And trust me on that. I've like for a whole summer, I've trained like 7 days a week. I was training for like 2 hours every single day, and I didn't make any progress. I just simply lost some fat, and yeah, I looked a little bit more shredded, but I didn't make any muscle gain. So don't do that. Avoid doing that completely. In every workout, you need to focus on the pump. You don't need to focus on how many reps you're doing. You don't need to focus on how many sets you're doing. You simply need to focus on the pump. The pump is basically the result of having a good enough intensity, and it's basically showing you that you're doing something right. So when I work out, I basically I always do the same amount of sets and shit, but I only aim for the pump. Let's say on a given set, I'm only focusing on getting the best contraction possible, so I know I will get the best pump later on the workout, right? Now, if you don't actually feel the pump, it happens for some people. Sometimes it's because you've been bulking for too long, or you're just starting in the gym and you don't really know how to work out. You can focus, instead of the pump, on your intensity. Now, for me, the pump is basically showing me if I have good enough intensity. So if you don't see the pump, just make sure you have good enough intensity. Now, to know if you're like working out hard enough, just take every single last set of a given exercise to failure. So let's say you're working out chest, you would do bench. So let's say you do three different sets. So on your first set, I don't know, you work out, but like maybe you have like 1 or 2 reps in the tank. Same thing for second set. But on the last set, you need to make sure you go to failure. So maybe you have a gym bro if you're doing bench, or maybe put the bar spotters, so you can just rest the bar on them. Anything goes. And then let's say I'm doing some barbell presses. Same thing. Last set, go to failure. Super simple. Now, I've talked about which muscle group you should focus on. I even listed like some of my days, but which split should you actually go on? Now, I've listed 2 different splits that I've used to actually gain my physique, and I listed them in the descriptions, basically like some Notion pages. And the first one is basically chest and tricep, back and bicep, then you've got shoulders and traps, and finally legs. So, like, I focus a lot on shoulders. I have a whole day that's on shoulders and traps, basically the 2 most important muscle group. And if you're wondering where neck is in all of that, honestly, neck, you just kind of slip it in wherever you want. You can do it in a rest day, it doesn't really matter. Now, I've also done the push-pull leg before, so if you want to go check those out, basically listen in the description. Now, let's get on to the second part of this video, which is how to eat. Now, eating enough is the most important thing. If you don't eat enough, if you're not bulking, if you're not in calorie surplus, you're not going to be able to make any gains. You probably heard this advice so many times. Oh yeah, you need to bulk, you need to be in a calorie surplus. But how can you actually be in a calorie surplus? How can you actually eat more? Here is 4 tips that might actually save you a lot of time. Now, the first one is to add an extra meal. So if possible, add an extra meal during your day. It can be right as you wake up. Maybe you don't eat breakfast, so just add in a breakfast. Maybe between like your lunch and your dinner, you have time to add in an extra meal, do that. Or maybe just add more like little snacks during the day. That also works. And the second one is to drink your calories. Now, I personally don't like making myself some monster shakes, but those really work. For my little bro that's just next door, Monster Shake really worked for him. Now, what I like doing instead is, maybe instead of grabbing a glass of water, I would just grab a glass of milk or a glass of juice. Because, I mean, in 300 milliliters of juice, there's a lot of calories. And this can actually, like, make the difference between you bulking that day and you maintaining that day. The third tip is to eat quickly. Now, the less time you give your brain to register the amount of food you ate, the less satiated you're gonna feel. So how can you actually do that? Now, what I like doing is basically like, and I've learned that over the years. Nowadays I eat super quickly. I'm always the first one to finish. So what I like doing is just focusing on your meal and eating as fast as possible. That one really works with me. And honestly, if you want to trick your brain even more, you can try to eat quickly and distract yourself by maybe even like watching a video, or let's say your parents are watching something, right? So how can you actually do this? And there's one crucial thing you need to focus on when you're doing this. Maybe you wouldn't want to like go on YouTube and you just pick out your favorite fitness video, and you just eat your meal. And you need to make sure that you're not being so distracted by the video that you're actually like eating slower. So what you want to do is make sure you eat fast and watch a video. I think that's the best way, and that's the way I feel the less satiated. And if you can, after eating like that meal so quickly, if you manage to finish it, bro, you probably don't feel satiated yet. Just eat a little snack, like right away. Now, 5-10 minutes later, when that food is gonna start like getting digested, you're gonna feel full, and then you're not gonna be able to eat. But before that 5 to 10 minute mark, you can still eat. So I know it might sound weird or toxic or force feeding, but it really works, and you should try it. Now, the fourth tip is to actually track your weight. Now, I tried tracking my calories, but it has never worked with me. I was never able to actually track my calories during the whole day for more than a week. Because, I don't like having my phone around everywhere. You eat this big meal and you don't really know how much calories there are in it. And sometimes, you can't be bothered to just always track your calorie. So tracking your weight is an easy way to actually, track your calories in a way, to track your progress. Because if you track your weight daily, at the same time, what I do is every single morning, fasted, I just add my morning shit, my morning piss, I track my weight. So it's basically always the same thing, right? And it shows you, did I eat enough yesterday? Now, if you saw a slight decrease, you need to eat more, but make sure you don't eat too much more. Because if you eat too much more, you're gonna gain a lot of weight. Next morning when you're gonna weigh yourself, you're gonna be very heavy. But that next day, you're gonna feel full for no reason during the whole day, and then you're gonna lose all that progress again. So what you wanna do is always eat just a little bit more. Try to make your weight upgrade as slowly as possible. Now, honestly, the best thing to aim for is half a pound a week. So basically 2 pounds a month, around 2 pounds a month, is the best bulking method that I followed, and over 2 years I gained 50 pounds. So it can really work. This is the last part on how to actually eat more. Now, there's this bonus tip that I must give to you guys. Avoid junk food. Now, there's this common advice out there on YouTube given to skinny guys that if they cannot bulk, they should actually eat more junk food. That advice is garbage. It's completely, utterly stupid. Who told you that being unhealthy was going to lead to more growth? Yeah, if you do eat that Big Mac, you're going to become heavier. Yeah, no shit. And it's a lot of calories. But, bro, do you think those calories are going to your muscles? Not too sure, right? And those calories, this burger, this processed food, is actually destroying your testosterone, which, in the long term, is destroying your gains. So, if you can, reduce the amount of junk food you're eating. Just little choices by little choices. If you imagine to yourself, what is a clean diet? And you probably see a big slab of meat, then a little bit of veggies and a little bit of carbs. And just aim for that slowly but surely, right? Simple like that. You don't need to do this drastic change of diet. But honestly, that's what I did. 8 months ago, I mean, I was like watching some Andrew Huberman podcast and stuff like that, researching on diet, and it just became so clear to me that all the shit I was eating was destroying my testosterone and destroying my gains. So, just like that, I stopped eating all the shit that I could and just started eating the good food. Now, let's say you bought some shit. Yeah, I did finish it before actually stopping, but I told my parents, I went to my mom, I actually want to eat more healthy, so I'm not gonna eat any more chips, any more, I don't know, little chocolate stuff. So I told her that, and she stopped buying some, and now I just eat more of the good stuff. So when she makes a meal, instead of eating a little like dessert at the end, I simply eat more of the meal, right? Simple things like that can really make a difference, and like honestly, I wish I started that sooner because I don't know how much bigger I would be right now if I did. Finally, let's get on with the last part of this video, which is on how to actually stay consistent. Now, this is a very important part of the video because if you don't stay consistent, if you stop eating, if you stop working out, all of your efforts will be wasted because, I mean, you stop, you're gonna slowly lose all your gains. We all know this. If you stop working out, it's gonna take some time, but you're gonna slowly lose all your muscles. Now, maintaining, like keeping up with the same amount of muscle is much easier than making more muscle mass. So maybe you want to set yourself a certain goal and then you just want to maintain by going to the gym, let's say twice a week. But honestly, that's not how I see things. How I see things is as an infinite game. I see fitness, I mean this journey, as an infinite game. My first day at the gym, I imagined myself as an 80-year-old guy, 80-year-old grandpa, actually still going to the gym. And honestly, ever since I imagined that, I didn't skip a day in the gym. I mean, I've been consistent with the gym ever since I started going to the gym. Because, bro, the time is gonna pass anyway. And the days I'm not like working out, or, I mean, the days I'm not working out or taking a rest days, the days where I'm skipping would be a day just wasted. It's progress wasted. And, I mean, on this wall, you probably can't see it, but there's these papers, and in one of them, it's written 235 pounds, 12% body fat. That is my physique goal. And every day I skip the gym, it's a day that might make it so I never reach this goal. So, yeah, the fitness, it's an infinite game. Going to the gym, something that's never gonna end, it's never gonna stop. And the only way to win is to win at your milestones that you set. So maybe you want to do like me, set a little paper on your wall giving like a weight goal and a certain percent body fat or anything of the sort. Like you could literally write something like, oh yeah, I want Alex Eubanks physique, right? Set that up somewhere, maybe on your phone wallpaper, and just obsess over it. And I swear, if you do, there's no way you're gonna skip the gym and you're gonna stay consistent. Lastly, bro, I guarantee you that if you train hard enough and you eat hard enough, you're surely gonna make gains. I mean, it's just gonna happen, right? So, fitness is this unshakable goal. Your goal that you set yourself, like I did, 235 pound, 12% body fat. It's an unshakable goal. I mean, whatever might happen to you, that goal is still there. The gym is still there. You can still go to the gym, you can still make gains, and you know the recipe to success. You know exactly what you need to do. Now, the last thing is just staying patient and staying consistent. So, I cannot imagine myself not staying consistent because I simply love the gym now. At first, yeah, maybe it required a little bit of discipline, but I was so motivated because, I mean, I just had to think about me getting bigger, me being sexier, me looking aesthetic. That's all the motivation I needed. So, and now that I fell in love with the gym, I would never stop. It's now time to level up, bro. I really wish this video brought value to you. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're interested in one-to-one coaching with me, where we basically hop on calls, I share with you everything I know about fitness, and I text you, we text together and shit, is the first link in the description. And if you'd be interested in watching me and my brother work out, I basically post almost all my workouts that I do on a channel called Anabolic Monkeys, and every single video is titled like Skinny to Huge Day something. So if you're interested in that, just a little bit of motivation, maybe you want to watch that while you eat your meal. So yeah, I hope this video was valuable to you. See you in the next one. Mwah.